Hello everyone and welcome to our video series on Learn German Grammar. In this video, you will learn the difference between the modal verben können and dürfen. You will learn when to use them and what's the difference between them. In the end, we will do an exercise. To practice what you learned today, you can download a free worksheet from our page on patreon.com. So let's begin. Können, oder, dürfen. Let's first look at an example for each one of them. Kann Deutsch. If you have watched our video on the modal verb können, then you know that with this modal verb, you can sometimes make sentences without adding an infinitive at the end. Here's the next example. Hier darf man nicht rauchen. Let's first look at the modal verb können. And here are the various uses of this modal verb. The first one is when you're talking about abilities. Fähigkeit. Maria kann Klavier spielen. So when you're talking about the ability to do something, then you will use the verb können. You will also use it when you're not able to do something. For example, Ich kann nicht singen. Other examples could be kann kochen, aber sie kann nicht kochen. Sie kann tanzen, aber kann nicht tanzen. Mein Hund kann sehr laut bellen. Dieses Gerät kann sehr gut sauber machen. So you can also talk about the abilities of things. The next use is when you're talking about possibility. Möglichkeit. Heute kann es regnen. Oder heute kann es nicht regnen. So when something is possible or not possible, then also you will use the modal verb können. Here's another example. Es kann sein, dass wir heute länger arbeiten müssen. Another common use of this modal verb is while making polite requests. Höfliche Bitte. For example, kannst du mir helfen? Another very polite form of können is könnten. In this case, the question would be, könntest du mir helfen? In few cases, können can also be used when talking about permission. Erlaubnis. For example, in a classroom, when your teacher is explaining something. She says, Jetzt könnt ihr notieren. The verb können is often confused with the modal verb dürfen. Dürfen is mostly used when you're talking of permission or prohibition. Let's look at the first example. Erlaubnis. Sie dürfen hier parken. There is a parking signboard, so you are allowed to park here. And then we talk of Verbot, a restriction. For example, the signboard here says, Sie dürfen hier nicht parken. Here's another example. Verbot. Man darf nicht bei Rot über die Straße gehen. Dürfen is also used when you're asking for permission. For example, darf ich nach Hause gehen? The use of können in the colloquial language is more common. In that case, the question could be, kann ich nach Hause gehen? Let's look at another sentence where we can use both the verbs können and dürfen. Kann ich das Telefon benutzen? Oder darf ich das Telefon benutzen? Let's suppose you are at someone's place and you have to use their phone. Then you could ask this question. Both the verbs are correct. And here's another question. Kann man hier telefonieren? Well, this sentence would actually mean, Is it possible to make a call here? Is there a telephone or something? In this case, you can only use the modal verb können. Let's look at the same sentence with the modal verb dürfen. Darf man hier telefonieren? Now you would ask this only, for example, when you are in a hospital, in a class, in the middle of a meeting or something. It's not about whether you can make a call or not. It's about whether you're allowed to make a call or not. Hence, you will use the modal verb dürfen. When talking about both these verbs, it's also important to know how they are conjugated. Ich kann, du kannst, sie können, sie es kann, wir können, ihr könnt, sie können. In the case of Modalverben, the conjugation for ich and sie es is the same. Ich darf, du darfst, sie dürfen, sie es darf, wir dürfen, ihr dürft, sie dürfen. Now that we know the difference between the two verbs, let's do an exercise. Übung. You have to fill in the blank with the correct verb, dürfen oder können. Don't forget to conjugate it. And here's the first sentence. And the correct answer is, sag mal, kannst du diesen Text übersetzen? You are basically asking for a favor, so you have to be polite and make a polite request. Hence, you will use the modal verb können. Let's look at the next one. And your answer should be, bis wann darf man hier parken? Bis 18 Uhr. Well, when you're talking about parking, you need permission, especially in Germany. Hence, you will use the modal verb dürfen. Now let's look at the next sentence. And your answer should be, ohne Führerschein darf man nicht fahren. Here again, we are talking about permission. You are only permitted to drive if you're carrying your driving license. Hence, the correct modal verb in this case is dürfen. Here's the next sentence. Im Unterricht darf man keine Handys nutzen. In places like hospitals, classes, or in the middle of a seminar, the use of mobile phones is generally prohibited. Hence, the modal verb dürfen. Here's the next one. Since you're asking for a favor, you have to make a polite request. Hence the modal verb können. Kannst du mir einen Gefallen tun? And here's the last one. And the answer is, wann kannst du ins Kino gehen? Erst morgen. Here we are talking about possibility. In this sentence, you could also say, wann darfst du ins Kino gehen? Maybe the other person was sick and was on bed rest and is only allowed to move out from the next day. In such a case, dürfen is not wrong. Great! To practice some more sentences, you can download a free worksheet from our page on patreon.com. Danke! Thanks for watching this video. If you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you still haven't. You can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we upload a new video. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. Tschüss! Auf Wiedersehen.